Enzo, congratulations. What would you say the key was to turning that game around from 1-0 down?
Today was a tough game, especially mentally, because when the team come here and they sit back with line of 5-4-1, 10 players, 11 players behind the ball, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So you need to be mentally strong. You need to be patient, and then they scored probably without shooting on goal. We had, I think, first half more than 10 shots. And so it's been mentally strong, but second half with some change also, I think the game completely changed.
Yeah, the game did completely change. Was that down to something you did tactically, or was it the substitutions that changed it?
No, we both. First of all, the players that are the most important thing, and then we adjust also something tactically. But I think even first half, I think we had 4 or 5 clear chances. Unfortunately, we missed the target, but overall, I think we completely deserve to win the game.
We saw an interesting celebration. Who were you directing that to? Was that the fans or the critics?
It's like Kuko says as well. We are for a big club, and it's what I say. People, we know that in the moment you are the best, and the other one you are the worst. So this is about working and be consistent. In this is what we are going to do.
Mark, other teams had faltered at the weekend. You grabbed the 3 points tonight and took the 4th place. How big a message was that you sent out to your rivals for that battle for the Champions League spots tonight?
Yeah, I think today we show that we are ready. I think we have the quality to stay in the top positions. I think today we came before from a tough moments, and then we do a mistake and we start losing, but today we show we need to suffer. We play together like a team, like a family, and today I think we deserve, and it's very important for us.
Pedro, just finally, Mark's mentioned that you've suffered at times tonight and in previous games. The manager's talked about that, but he's talked about it in a positive way, that's the way you learn, get stronger and get better. Do you sense that's the direction you're now moving in?
Of course, it's the direction. I think even to win trophies, you have to suffer. You have to know how to suffer. So we are here to suffer, to do our best, and to take the most points that we can to be in the top place.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're fighting and they are back in the top 4 tonight. Is it important, Gianfranco, that they have shown a little bit of resilience this evening? They had to suffer, they've had to work the hard way and come from behind to win.
Yeah, that's the most important thing I take from this game. He hasn't been the best in terms of quality, in terms of football, but it was important to win. It was important to come back from the situation they did. Because West Ham, to be fair, they played a good game. They made it very, very difficult for them. Created a lot of density, which was not easy to find spaces. So I feel that it's a very, very important game.
Do you think this was a good performance from West Ham?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, listen, Chelsea, going away to Chelsea is a tough place, for anyone to go. There's a huge rivalry between the two teams. You mentioned to Graham Potter before the game what he preferred. He wants both a performance and a result. They were very close to getting it. It was a decent performance. Listen, this isn't the best Chelsea team we've ever seen, and they're not in the best form as well right now. So I think in some ways, being 1-0 up at half-time, Chelsea, as I say, going through a little bit of a rough patch, I think they'll be disappointed that they haven't come away with something from the game, because, as I said, with 45 minutes to go, 1-0 up, yeah, they would have. I think they'd been confident they could have taken something.
Yeah, really good position they were at half-time after Jared Bowen, who's back in the side for the third goal.
Yeah, I just think when you talk about Graham Potter, you talk about playing from the back, but when you've got a real advantage, Souček against Cucurella, you have to use that. And that's what he does from the goal kick. You see everyone's pushed up, they're not trying to play from the back. He knows Souček's always going to win that header.
He knows everything there is to know about Cucurella.
Exactly, yes. And listen, you talk about being back. We were analysing West Ham before the game, saying they haven't got enough maybe men in the box, lacking shots, lacking finishes.
Love the way he just takes a little pause before that finish there, Jared Bowen, just to set himself before he hits the strike.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him actually, because there is a quality that not all the players they have. He paused there, he checked where the goalkeeper he was, I think, and he was very cool in the finishing. That's what sometimes I said at the beginning, sometimes Jackson should have a little bit more of that. I think you'll make him much better.
Composure.
The composure and to wait a second before you take a shot. And it gives you that edge that allows you to score more goals.
Not the prettiest goals from Chelsea in the second half, but as we said, hugely valuable for what they're trying to achieve this season, and vital that they got themselves a foothold in the game with this equalising goal. Maybe there is cause for a foul in the build-up. We'll come back to that. 24 seconds after that incident is the actual ball in the back of the net.
Well, I said after the first half that there was too much density in the middle, and Chelsea should have tried more on wide areas to create something, because that's the way, and that was exactly the case. Very unlucky in the first shot, but the second one, Neto was very good.
Quality on this cross, Jamie, from Neto there.
Fantastic. He has got real quality. And you know what? Even at his time at Wolves, maybe through injuries, have we seen enough of it? But we got the finish there. But the big decision, when this great cross comes in, is it a touch?
And they have to be absolutely sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got to the right decision. You can't be sure. You see, there's probably a nick more of Soufal, really, maybe the
It definitely hits Soufal, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely on that situation there. We see from another angle here, again, wonderful cross, but I'm not sure he does touch it, if I'm being totally honest. It probably gets as close as it can possibly get, but a little bit of good fortune maybe, but great finish.
So was this a foul, Jamie?
I'm not sure you're going to get that. Now, it looks really bad there, but I think in the context of he's not that close to the ball.
He's running across his line, isn't he?
No, listen, is he going for the ball? No. Does he knock him out the way? Yes, but referees don't give that as a foul.
Maybe it's like the same foul that Carragher received when they conceded the first goal.
Oh.
Similar, no?
Yeah, well, VAR didn't look at it. They have to consider this about the attacking possession phase and consider the time limit or the number of passes. And not necessarily when the attacking team have gained possession. The other considerations they have to make, the ability of the defence to reset and the momentum of the attack. So I suppose, given that it's 24 seconds, was the argument that they did have the chance to reset.
Yeah, and I think when you see it there, he's not that close to the ball, him and Colwell, so the referee's not going to give that. Is he going for the ball? No.
They've got plenty of time, haven't they, to get back in defensive
but
structure.
they've got plenty of time to sort of reset and get players behind the ball. I don't think it makes a massive difference. It's just whether it was a foul or not.
Perhaps should have been a foul on the pitch.
Pardon?
Perhaps should have been a foul on the pitch.
Yes.
I'm not convincing you, am I?
You're not. Listen, them fouls that we all say that's a foul, but referees never give them. Now you can have a go to the referee, but you're not going to get that. They just don't give it. He's not close enough to the ball. It's not stopping him. It's just moving someone out the way. And maybe I'm being a bit more defensive because I'm a defender.
First glance as well, maybe we thought we got this moment of magic from Cole Palmer, but perhaps not.
No, maybe not. But anyway, it was the one who took the ball. He went against the defender and he created an opportunity. Then he was lucky, but in the way, he was the one who had the initiative to try to do something. So,
try and force something, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we've been talking about in the first half. There are games like that where you need to, create something that is not coming from the normal play. And exactly what is done there.
Chelsea not in great form, but they needed that, and you need a bit of luck. I said over the weekend, Liverpool had a little bit of luck at times against Bournemouth. Arsenal had a bit of a luck with the deflection to get themselves back 2-1 really quickly after going 1-1. And it wasn't going great for Chelsea, but they needed that little bit of luck. Maybe something VAR on the first goal, deflection on the second goal, but they need to get back into better form, because if they don't, they will miss out on the Champions League. But it's there for the taking for 4 or 5 teams.
Plus, Maresca made the call to bring Tosin back into the starting lineup ahead of Chalobah. And what a big intervention that was in the final moments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's been brave also, changing the goalkeeper. I think Maresca is making the decisions that they need to be made. And I think despite everything, things are going in the right direction. I agree, you cannot play always perfect football, nice and tidy. And sometimes in games like this, especially when is a tough moment, you need to get something out of that. I'm sure that they will get a lot of confidence from this.
Far from perfect tonight, Chelsea, but they got the job done at Stamford Bridge, beating plucky West Ham.
Second half turnaround, just their second win in 8 Premier League games and into the top 4 with 15 games to play. And given what Enzo Maresca walked into, Joe, at this stage of the season, would you have expected Chelsea to be in the top?
At the start of the season, I thought it was a real mess because you had 30 players and there was a lot of lads who needed to get out the door. There was a lot of uncertainty. Then Chelsea kept adding to the list. So I thought Enzo's going to be so difficult for him. Then we interviewed him early on in his reign and he was so calm about the process. He said, look, I'm going to pick my players. He said, who I think can do what I need them to do. And the ones that can't, they can leave. And he said it in such a way, so stern and so... But he believed it. I thought, I like you. And then I think he's managed the group brilliantly. There's some players who've gone out the door now this week where they've moved on. And I think he's just put like a bit of a steel into the side. I think there's still bumps in the road. Like it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, I thought Chelsea were in a title race because I'd been watching them consistently and improvement. Then they had a 3-4 week spell where they didn't win a game. And in this league, you can't do that. You've got to be on it. So I'm impressed with him when I consider... You have to take yourself back to what it was like in August. It looked incredibly mad and he just settled the ship. Players have gone out the building again in January. The squad's gone shorter and smaller, but I think stronger. So I think top four is well within their grasp. I think it's something they should do with the amount of money they've spent. So I think he's doing a very, very good job. And I think Champions League would be par for the course for this club this year.
Shouldn't we forget as well that it's his first season managing in the Premier League while sorting all this out and trying to get Chelsea into the top four?
I think he's done an incredible job. That was a real mess. Lots of good managers have come and gone. Lots of them couldn't sort out the mess, but as Joe said, very stern, a strict idea really of what he wants to do. And I think when you've got all of those players, the hardest thing that you can do is try to keep everybody happy. You've just got to say, right, these are going to be my 18 or whatever the number is. These might play in Europe and these are ones I don't fancy at all. And it's hard on some, but that's what it needed. Chelsea just accumulated too many players. It was too difficult a job to manage the club, let alone be a player there. And I think he's done a really good job. Now, you can't expect to have that much of a mess and then to be a title champion.
You said, right, we're building the team that we want to achieve our goals. I think every football person would say, I need a bit of experience in my squad to help me out.
I think it's the second youngest team in the Premier League in terms of starters.
It is, and I think that's a club policy. They've gone down this road of...
Haven't started a player 30 or older this season in the outfield.
Again, and I understand from a club policy, when you're thinking of it from a business perspective, you think you buy the best young players in the world from 18 to 22, you play them games, you develop them, you know, they're going to get better. And whether they play for Chelsea and are there that become that player that takes you to the next level, or you sell them on, you're going to make money. But what I think they're missing the trick, and I think Enzo, if you asked him and he was honest, I think he'd say, I would like to have, you know, maybe a slightly younger Thiago Silva, a Jordan Henderson or someone or a few players of that like who've been there, done it, who can lead the group. Because them sort of players, when we was young players, them sort of players are the ones that show you the way. You learn just as much from them than you do from the coaching staff by playing with them and seeing how they conduct themselves. So I think he would if he could.
But on the flip side, he has got a young team and you think to yourself, right, if someone said to me now, who's in 3 years' time, who could be, you know, right up there challenging for the league, I'd be saying, oh, Chelsea. You know, they're such a young side. That team, if he keeps them together and grows as a team, while all the other teams, you look at the likes of Liverpool and, you know, their key players, you know, the Mo Salahs, the Virgil van Dijks, you know, theirs is the here and now. They're not going to be around in 4 or 5 years, let's say, maybe. So